I really do hope you feel better, man.
Oh, me too, man. The colds suck, especially when a man cold is the equivalent of giving birth.
Yeah, we are uh, big babies when it comes to that.
Right. I mean, my wife says that she disagrees with me. Believe it or not. I mean, like she always makes fun of me when I get a cold because I am just down.
Mhm.
She's like, how can you go do all these things and like you're bleeding and all this stuff and it doesn't phase you, but a cold, a freaking cold, and you're like, no thanks.
Yeah, my fiance Emily's around the same way. I can do a lot of crap, but I take care of a lot of crap. But when it comes to a cold, I'm just a big. Come hold me, come cuddle with me. You
Right?
be you be the big spoon.
Yeah, I mean, I still call my mom when I have a cold. I'm like, Mom, I don't feel good. I'm 43 years old. It never gets old.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna hit that music. Here we go. Welcome to the Fandemic. This is a podcast about talking to different people, finding out what's their fandemic, and how we each level up our awesome. With people I may or may not know, I wrote the book on leveling up your awesome. I'm the self-proclaimed emperor of awesome, Bradley Butin, and today I have a special guest, Diandre Robinson, host of the Mass Debaters podcast. Such a fun time. Welcome to the Fandemic. How are you today?
God is truth. I'm sleepy. I
Man,
am sleepy. Just be
me
honest.
me too, dude. I hosted a Disney trivia night at the theater that I worked last night,
Um,
and it was busy. And then once that was done, I couldn't sleep. The cold was just starting to set in. So I
mhm.
was kind of tossing and turning, and then I had to wake up early for Mandalorian.
Yeah,
So
right. You gotta make sure you're up.
priorities.
Gotta make sure you're up by 2 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, 100%.
Right, man. Have you seen the new episode of Mandalorian yet?
So listen to
I
out
know.
there, all my nerds out there. Listen, I am a self-proclaimed jock nerd. However, though I despise
Star
Star Wars.
Wars. I know.
I despise Star Wars. So that's gonna be a definite no, 100% no right there.
Awesome. Man, I did, and you know what? I didn't remember until you started saying like, oh, I now I remember. Oh man.
Yeah.
So what is new? What's going on with you? How's the podcast world?
Podcast World is amazing. First and first, thank you to everyone if you're listening that support Master Bidders and the I Did Not Make These Podcast Rankings Network. Sorry about the noise.
Oh, you're good, man.
So yeah, I want to thank everyone that support Master Bidders and the I Did Not Make These Podcast Rankings Network. The group of podcasters that small time podcasters just like to have fun. We do brackets and drafts, which Bradley did a draft before, and it's coming out really soon. I have a long list of people that have to produce. I only do these once a week, so I'm
Right.
producing once a week, so it's gonna take some time.
Yeah.
But they're fun. We just hit 20K and 20K and 20,000 listens overall, which is fantastic.
Yeah, it is.
And I am extremely excited about that. So thank you so much.
Awesome, man. Yeah, dude. Like it's such a great idea. So much fun. Man, I know I had a great time, and we won't spoil my episode that I did with you because it'll be coming
Mm-hmm.
out soon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man, like a great time was had, and uh, and more great times will be had again.
Yeah.
So, what made you decide to get into podcasting, man?
Honestly, the pandemic. I mean, listen, that's why 60% of podcasting right now they have done.
Yeah.
It's because of the pandemic. Uh, I when we first started Masturbators, it was called Versus. It was called Versus, and Versus we just did comedic debates.
Mm-hmm.
And before that, on my personal Facebook, I used to just do stupid questions like who went between this and this, and what you do if you did this, and all that kind of good stuff. Which I still do to this day, but
Yeah.
not as much. And so I decided to make that to a podcast, and three of my friends wanted to come on as well, so we started together. And then we found out that Versus was a generic podcast name. It's like 17 Versus podcast. Uh, so we asked the small amount of people that listened, what our name should be, and someone came up with Mass Debaters, and we voted on it, and there you go. And so it was comedic debates at first. We just like, what's the best who's the best Batman, or
Mm-hmm.
yeah, stuff like that. Debate on it, and then because of changes in the recent year, um, we changed it from just having debates into brackets and drafts, which is still kind of technically a debate,
Yeah.
but smaller. So that,
Right.
that's how that went.
Yeah, I started the first podcast that I did was me and a couple buddies. It was called the Nerd Church Radio.
Okay.
All we did was we reviewed DC comic. It was right when Rebirth happened, and so like
Okay.
it was just kind of like, should we do Marvel? Should we do DC? We were all kind of more DC fans than we were Marvel, at least in comics. But then Rebirth, and they're rebooting everything, so we're like, well, there's that, right? So we kind of followed along, and I mean, like, we were getting copies from DC, review copies and stuff like that, and it was fun. And then my buddy him and we kind of started, and then we kind of brought in a couple more people, and then I had stuff going on, he had stuff going on, and then just kind of naturally just kind of fell off.
Mm-hmm.
And then a couple months later, probably about 6 months later, him and I we kind of regrouped, retooled, and it became Ben and Brad's Pop Culture Kingdom. And
Okay.
looking back at those episodes now, and I'm like, wow. I mean,
I say the same thing when I listen to Versus in the early Masturbators, like, ooh,
right?
Good thing for evolution,
Right? Good for learning from mistakes, right? I will say, in an episode of Nerd Church Radio, like, gosh, this is 2018, maybe 2019 at the latest. No, it was before that. It was like probably 2017. But man, like, I called. Because it was right after Force Awakens came out. We were talking about Force Awakens, and I called the ending of Rise of the Skywalker in that episode. I mean, not that hard. I'd be honest, but yeah, that's kind of the best thing. One of the best things that happened out of Nerd Church Radio is I called the ending of the Star Wars saga, which it was coming from a mile away. Yeah. So
okay, I have to take your word for it, because again, I don't watch Star Wars.
Yeah.
There you go.
So what is your biggest nerdum?
So my biggest nerdum. So I'm a big comic book fan. I'm really, really big comic book fan. Superhero fan. So I watch all MCU. I'm literally going to see. I'm not sure when this is going to air, but I'm going to see the first showing of Shazam in 2 days
Nice.
in Portland.
So I'm actually going to see Shazam tonight.
Oh, nice. On Wednesday.
Yeah. Well, I work at the theater, so I get to go to the advanced screenings. So we get we do a midnight showing on the Wednesday before. Let's make sure that quality control, right? And this will come out after Shazam comes out, so I'm sure that we'll have our thoughts on Shazam. But yeah.
So I'm a big superhero fan. I love the DC. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't mind the DCU. The what was on the DCU. I'm a big MCU fan.
Mm-hmm.
Really big fan of the Amazon stuff as well. I think The Boys is one of the best TV shows I've seen in my life. Uh, uh, and uh, Not Incredible. Is it Incredible?
The
Uh,
Incredibles.
no, not Incredible, but Invincible. Sorry, Invincible
Hmm.
is one of the best super cartoons I've ever seen. Especially for that first episode and the last episode was just shocking as hell. So I can't wait for those to come out again. Yeah, so my nerdum is just superheroes and stuff like that. With throwing in a little bit of as my fiance say, shit that I'm just
Yeah,
kind of cursing.
you can swear, man. It's good. It's good. I'll
Yeah,
yeah.
don't say shit that I shouldn't know, like doing some dumb random thoughts that I know. But yeah,
Right.
mostly just superhero stuff.
Yeah, I'm with you, dude. I mean, I do. I
Mm.
have a weekly trip up to the comic book store. I mean, I have a Green Lantern background. Like
Mhm.
in which. So, who's your favorite Green Lantern?
Um, I want to say Hal Jordan, but oof, do I want to see Hal Jordan? Because
I mean,
I feel like that's probably the generic of all answers.
yeah.
Uh,
But I mean, Hal gets more showtime than everyone else, though. I mean, when you say Green Lantern, your brain pretty much always goes to Hal Jordan.
Goes to Hal
So
Jordan,
it's fair.
which I don't like because it's because it's generic. I
Yeah.
don't want I don't want to do that. Who's the other one?
Kyle Rayner, John Stewart, Guy
John
Gardner,
Stewart. John
Kilowog.
Stewart.
Man,
I, I like the John Stewart
mhm.
John Stewart storyline for Green Lantern.
Yeah, I love his background. I even liked it better because he was like originally John Stewart was an architect who became the Green Lantern,
Mhm,
but then they kind of retconned him to be a Marine. And
mhm,
I think there is he is also an architect now as well as he was a Marine.
mhm.
But like dude, like John Stewart is the perfect choice to lead the Green Lanterns.
Yeah.
Absolutely. My favorite is Kyle Rayner.
Okay.
I love Kyle Rayner.
Mhm.
Like, man, I know we're gonna get the lanterns, Hal Jordan, John Stewart from James Gunn.
Um,
Great.
that's supposed to be supposed to be the TV show, right?
Yeah.
Not the
Yep.
movie yet.
Yep. But I mean, and so like as far as DC Comics goes, I'm not like everybody else. Like
Okay.
I, everybody likes Batman. I like Batman too. I'm not a huge
Mhm.
fan of Superman, like really at all. I mean,
I'm a huge Superman fan.
yeah, I mean, like
Huge Superman fan.
Superman to me, like I like it when they can do something new with the character, and
Mhm.
they can emotionally because that's the only thing that people can do is they can hurt him emotionally. Um, but like I feel like a lot of anymore, he's just so OP.
Well, here's the thing. So I'm a big fan of Superman. Period.
Mhm.
I mean, and it's was
Yeah,
for all time. However, though, I will say this: the best storyline for Superman for me is Injustice. To
agreed.
me, Injustice is a storyline. Period.
Mhm.
I mean, for superhero, damn near for superheroes, outside of maybe Civil War two for MCU, for Marvel, not Civil War one, but Civil War
Yeah.
two, which is freaking fantastic.
Mhm.
But 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 that storyline, the Injustice storyline, when when he goes crazy because he went crazy,
Yeah.
is freaking amazing. So I do love that storyline for Superman.
Man, Tom Taylor, the
Mhm.
writer, is so freaking amazing, man. Like I will read anything he writes. Man, him, Josh Williamson, Chip Zdarsky. I mean,
Josh
like,
Wilson.
dude, oh my gosh, man! And he's pretty much running I mean, a lot of the DC comics right now. Like, 'cause I know, I'm a huge Green Arrow fan, huge Green
Mhm.
Arrow fan, and Williamson has a Green Arrow run coming out, and I can't wait. Oh man, so stoked for this! I guess Tom King
Um,
is going to be writing Wonder Woman too.
So Josh Wilson,
Mm-hmm.
who's over sitting there, right? Yeah. My friend Reese actually has a picture and autograph from him,
That's awesome.
from Comic Con, uh,
Nice.
and I was kind of jealous. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Man, I got in the last Green Arrow run. It was Tom. Well, for I mean, it was Benjamin Percy was writing him, and then
Okay.
he actually did Teen Titans as well. So
Mhm.
I actually got his autograph on Green Arrow #1 and Teen Titans #1,
Ooh.
and then he moved over to Marvel and took on my favorite Marvel character, Wolverine. You
Wolverine.
know,
Mhm.
and so I've been collecting Wolverines like that. Benjamin Percy is one of my all-time favorite comic book artists, and Jorge Jimenez, man, dude, that guy can draw. Mm, man, so good, so good. Get that guy on Batman, and dude, you're doing good.
Oh,
So
we're gonna do good.
man, so you like that? You like Superman?
Um,
Who's your favorite member of the Super family?
so I have in my possession, not my possession here, but I'm originally born and raised in Philadelphia.
Hmm.
And certain things I didn't bring to Philly just because I don't want to touch it. And one of my first is uh, mint condition, never opened Superboy issue #1, 1980. Never opened. It's my brother's this thing called storage. The brother storage. It's a high up, so it won't get wet with some other stuff. Listen, I told him keep that in a safe place because it cannot get messed up. So just for sentimental values and how much money it's worth, my Superboy Volume 1, Superboy is probably my, and no more, I do like the story as well, but
Hmm.
it's worth a lot of money. So Superboy Volume 1, Superboy is my favorite Superman. I mean, I don't mind. I mean, I like Supergirl as well.
Hmm.
Um,
Depends who writes her and how they write her.
yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't I wasn't a hater of the Supergirl TV show.
Hmm.
I know other people didn't like it a lot that
It
much.
started
I
really
was
good.
yeah. It started amazing. It did get a little,
Got
for lack
political.
of better words, cheesy.
Yeah.
Let's just say cheesy. Um, but uh, but yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you. I didn't mind the CW DCU run at all.
Yeah.
I didn't mind those. I didn't mind uh, Arrow. I didn't mind Flash. I didn't mind Legends of Tomorrow. Um, I didn't mind Supergirl. But it did really get as I got older. It did get a little cheesy or younger.
Yeah.
So I will say that as well. At least with DC, which I hope James Gunn would do, is keep it dark. I like dark DC.
Yeah.
Me
Me too.
personally, I like dark DC. I love um, the Justice League with the not James Gunn. The um, what's his
Zack
name?
Snyder. Zack Snyder.
Zack Snyder Justice League. Even though it's 4.5 hours long, it is still amazing. It's
Hmm.
still great.
Yeah.
Uh, listen, MCU too lights. I like keep it dark. Keep that dark. Keep the MCU the DCU dark.
I agree. I agree, man. I think
Mhm.
and DC has a lot of those characters that they can go that way. And why why have they never done a Justice League Dark movie? I know,
Mm.
like it was in the works for a while, man. Because I don't know, dude. Give me Etrigan the Dragon, or I'm sorry,
Mhm.
Etrigan the Demon. My bad. Give me freaking Zatanna. I mean, like this is a no freaking brainer,
Zatanna, Demon,
man. John
why am I
Constantine.
John Constantine? Like the cartoon Justice League Dark was so
Yes.
fucking so good.
You can
It
swear.
was
You can say
so.
it. You can.
I know. I'm sorry, but yeah, it was so good. It was so. It was one of my favorite. One of my favorite cartoon
Mhm.
movies actually, and one of my favorite DC cartoon movies, hands
Yeah.
down. It was so good. They're probably the best one they have. God's truth. So as a cartoon,
Yeah.
cartoon movie, it's probably the best one they have. And Justice League's Dark, and when everybody damn near dies and Batman
Hmm.
is a computer, like oh my god,
Yeah.
spoilers, people, but but it's so good, so good. If you haven't seen it, go watch it.
Oh, I've seen it several times. I mean,
Yeah.
that, and I agree with you. That the two best DC movies, DC animated movies, is that. and the Flashpoint paradox.
Flashpoint paradox. Yes.
Yeah, man. And I mean, I like Flash too, but like, man, like the show is, it is like the last couple seasons has been unwatchable.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, man, I gave up on it. I tried to get back into it for the final season because I know they're bringing back Stephen Amell for Arrow in it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll definitely watch that episode. But like, I tried the first 3 episodes. I'm like, so it's you're doing Red Death and it's Batwoman who from the canceled Batwoman TV show, which like it was so hit or miss. It was like I have a hard time. Like, if you're gonna tell the just do Batman, do Batman, and then branch off from Batman. Don't go straight to Batwoman and all these things. It just doesn't work.
So my thought process on it is I think that they wanted to do that because there's so many dark Batman movies. There's so many Batman movies, and not just live action. I mean, listen, you got the cartoon, every cartoon Batman, which again to me, The Killing Joke is one of the best cartoon movies of all time.
Fair, man. Except for one part. There's one part that I couldn't get behind.
The rip scene.
No, well, the Batgirl Batman scene where they kind of get together. I was like, that it was unnecessary. Like, this does nothing, and it's not part of the actual graphic because The Killing Joke is one of the greatest DC great graphic novels, hands down ever. I mean, that's right up there with Crisis on Infinite Earths. That's right up there. I mean, I love Identity Crisis as well. But
yeah, but according, if you haven't go watch dark DC, you got like dark shit, and if you were more and this is not a knock on MC or Marvel, but they are run by Disney, so it's not gonna be too dark of anything. I think the darkest the MCU or MCU wise is Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. Yeah. That's because you had what's his face, the director Stan Raimi and so that wasn't even that dark. No. So I'll listen. DCU, if you can keep your things dark for people that like dark, please do. I'm really excited to watch The Flash. This coming out soon. The Flash movie, because it's okay. Let me rephrase that. I'm excited to watch the Flash movie come out soon because of what's in it. However, I am tired of the storyline though. I am tired of the Flashpoint storyline. Flash has other storylines you could run with. You don't have to keep doing Flashpoint.
Well done.
But you don't have to keep doing Flashpoint. Flashpoint is again. You have to keep doing Flashpoint. He has other storylines you could do, but Jesus, we have another. This is basically another Flashpoint storyline, and you don't have to keep doing it. Period.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that all the turmoil in DC is actually going to hurt Shazam. I think it's going to hurt Flash and that and Ezra Miller's whatever is happening. I think that's going to kind of hurt as well. I mean, I'm still going to go see it. I'm going to see it for free because I work at a movie theater, so it's Flashpoint, man. Like, here's what you should do. Just Barry Allen goes into the Speed Force and comes out Wally West. And then you have that hidden, like, what happened to Barry Allen? I mean, because Barry Allen disappeared he was gone for like, what, 20-some years?
Yeah, he was on for a long time.
From Crisis on the Infinite Earths, I mean, until like, I think it was the 2000s. Yeah, so I mean, like, he was gone from like 85. I mean, like, I don't think he was around. I mean, for those years, Wally West, which he is the best Flash anyway. Like, man, like that's where you need to go with the Flash.
The fastest Flash as well. Like there was a couple of websites that said Wally West is the fastest Flash, which is probably true. Again, it's cartoons, you never know. But
yeah, it's whoever's right. True.
Yeah. However, though, there's not really from TV shows and comic books. Yes, Wally West is the best Flash, but I'm going visually. There's not really a good repetition of Wally West.
Yeah.
In the cartoon, I forgot what cartoon he was in. He wasn't a big player. And then the Arrowverse, they just said go do Buddhism and call it a day. Like he went to some so he went to some tribe and like it was weird. So there's not like a really good representation of Wally West, which is horrible.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that DC has. I mean, like, well, Peacemaker. Peacemaker was
Mhm.
phenomenal. So good,
Chef's
man.
kiss, chef's kiss.
Dude, like what they had such a perfect cast, and the fact that they made their intro
Mhm.
freaking Spaced Invaders, and that stupid song that is still stuck in my
Do,
head to
do,
this
do,
day.
do, do, do,
Yeah,
do.
right. Like
it's
you
it,
see
it,
it.
might- it, it might be the best. It might be the best intro of all time. God's truth. And listen, I know other intros, but listen, you got John Cena. You got John Cena dancing. You have what's his name, the older fella,
Robert Patrick.
Robert Patrick dancing. The dance choreography, like the song, which actually made #1 on the charts.
Yeah,
Actually,
dude.
uh,
Wigwam.
yeah. So oh my goodness. So yeah, listen, DCU, please keep it dark. Keep it dark.
Man, like, and that's the whole thing. I don't care, man. Like, yeah, Black Adam was great. I don't know in what world they thought they were going to be able to spring an entire universe off of Black Adam, a character that is really like nothing without Shazam. And I don't. There was a lot of things wrong going into it, but you know what Black Adam did right?
What the,
Justice Society of America, Doctor
mm,
Freaking Fate. Doctor Fate and Hawkman were some of the best parts of Black Adam. Man, they
okay,
were
so
awesome.
so so they were, but they did Doctor Fate dirty, and
Dan.
this they did Doctor Fate dirty, and they did Hawkeye really dirty. I mean, he didn't. I mean, spoiler people that didn't watch it. If you didn't watch it, go watch it. But Hawkeye didn't die. It's just the fact that he treated like he was weak. Like he was weak, and technically Doctor Fate was weak. Like the just not the Justice League, the Society, the whole
Mhm.
team wasn't that good, and they should have been better. And that's another group of superheroes that are representing well
Yeah.
in cinema.
Hmm.
Because even in when they did Legends of Tomorrow, when they back to Society, they was horrible. So like it could have been better. Let's say that it could have been better than me. Black Adam could have been better than me. Black Adam, I didn't think deserved his own um, standalone movie yet. At least let because this would have been the second Shazam movie.
Yeah.
Should have been Black Adam versus Shazam. That's
Absolutely.
what it should have done. And then you have Black Adam's own movie. But you gotta bring him in as a villain first. You can't bring him in as the anti-hero. That
Yeah.
cannot happen. That
Right. I mean,
cannot happen.
how long was Venom a villain before he actually kind of turned the table to be an anti-hero?
He was in a couple of superhero movies. He was
Yeah,
in
but I mean, like
Spider-Man 3.
comics and everything as well.
In comics he was
Yeah,
in it for a long ass time.
yeah,
A
yeah.
long time.
Venom was the bad guy, but you know what?
Hmm.
We all love Venom. I like
Hmm.
Venom is one of probably at least top 5 of my favorite Marvel people.
Hmm.
Now with DC, do you like
Hmm.
Justice League, Justice Society, all the super teams? Do you think that Superman and Batman should be part of them?
Superman, yes. I mean, he they both. I guess they both started it, but he's one of the main reasons why it happens. Batman is not a superhero to me, and this is going to sound horrible. And please don't listen.
Hey, it's your opinion,
Just
man.
I really hope that your listeners don't hate you for what I'm about to say. It's just
Okay.
me. Batman is literally just uh, a person that should have went to therapy. If he went to therapy, then there would be no Batman. And and with his privilege, he had a lot of stuff he could do. So I don't really consider Batman a superhero.
So here's my take.
Pro- hmm, go ahead.
Dick Grayson is a better Batman than Bruce Wayne.
Oh, there's plenty of better Batman. His father in the Flashpoint was better. Was a better Batman than Bruce Wayne. So
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, like when it comes, so to me, Dick Grayson is the most the most developed character in the history of comics.
Okay.
And he's one of my Nightwing is one. I like Nightwing more than I like Batman.
And Nightwing should have more of a role in. No, I mean he has his own comics, so I kind of just understand that. However, though, Nightwing should have more role in visual things outside of Titans, which I know he's on Titans, look like that. But I'm not a big fan of him on Titans. I'm not a big fan of him on Titans. Like I feel like, again, if you're going to start this DCEU,
yeah,
bring on the Batman. Bring on Batman. You're going to need another Batman. Listen, I know you're not going to have Glitterface. What's his name? Robert Pattinson.
Yeah, Pattinson.
Yeah, right. And you already said you're not going to bring back what's the other face from Batman vs Superman? I'm sorry, my brain is going freeze right
like
now.
Michael Keaton or
well, no, Batman vs Superman.
Ben Affleck.
Ben Affleck. They already said they did not bring those two back. So if you want to nail Batman for this DCEU thing you're trying to do, just like MCU, you're gonna need to do that. However, once you do bring in Batman, you bring on Dick Grayson and you develop him to Nightwing to Batman. You have to have that story. You have to have that Robin, Nightwing, Batman story. They're going to take at least about 5-6 movies. I understand that, but you got to have that story because you need a better version of Dick Grayson. I mean, of Nightwing.
So I mean, if DC was to give me control of their movies, whatever, the Batman story that I would tell would be Batman and Robins, and that would be the title. And then every movie, Batman would be a secondary character, and it would be the origin of all the Robins. So I would start with Dick Grayson, right? And then I would go to Jason Todd, and then as I do that, I'm developing a Nightwing movie. And then I'm going to move to Tim Drake. And then when I do that, I'm going to deliver, Jason Todd dies, after Tim Drake, we're going to do Damian Wayne. And then we're just going to do the Bat family. Because I mean, with Batman, it's his tragedy that makes him feel alone, which he has the biggest family of anybody in comics.
He does.
And then you throw Cassandra Cain. They're like, oh, hey, you have a cousin that you had all along that you had nothing to do with. What? And her dad is some big military guy. What? Like, okay.
And then bring back Jason Todd. When Jason Todd died, bring him back Red Hood, all that kind of
Red
good
Hood
stuff.
and the Outlaws, man.
Yeah. So you need all those. Yeah. So listen, I should agree. I don't think that will be a 1-part movie though. You need definitely need about 5 or 6 movies for that. But you need to develop these. The one thing that these DC movies didn't do, what they tried to do, is develop characters. And the only time they did that was with Aquaman tried, and then Wonder Woman 1984, which was horrible. I'm not gonna lie. Listen, Wonder Woman was great. 84 was horrible.
They wasted Baxter Lord. Baxter Lord. I mean, man, yeah.
So you'll need so James Gunn, what he needs to do is figure a way to develop these characters. Develop these characters from day one. And the thing what the MCU did, which was fantastic, I'll give them props for, is that their first movie was fantastic. Iron Man was fantastic.
Yeah, one of the best superheroes movies ever made.
Yeah, so what you're going to have to do is have one of the best superhero movies ever made to make this go. If the first movie flops, then you have nothing. Period.
Yeah, I agree, man. And I think that the more adult version of DC is exactly what they need. But I mean, I think that you can get there with Marvel as well. Marvel is at this thing. They need to change something because what they're doing now, I think, it isn't working like it used to. Phase 4 was a laughable joke. the
Yeah.
multiverse saga. I mean, like, what even was that, right?
Mhm.
Kang was. I mean, have you seen Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania?
I've seen a minimum come. Oh, sorry, I have. I didn't. So let me say it. I know that people backlashing the movie.
I loved it.
They. So I love the movie.
Yeah.
It's not the best movie of the MCU
Right.
by
Right.
far,
Yeah.
but it was okay movie. But however, they are wasting King, and I'm hoping that because I think the next version of King you'll see is in Loki 2, and
Mhm.
I'm hoping that when Loki season 2 that they to develop King. You got what 10 to 12 episodes to develop King better than what Quantumania did. Because don't get me wrong, him as a bad guy was fucking amazing, but they didn't even scratch the surface
No.
of Kang whatsoever.
No. No.
The best part of that was the closing credit scene
Mm-hmm.
when the Council of Kangs came out.
Oh.
So
It did my
so
heart. My heart was like, oh, the Council of Kings. Yes,
Mhm.
man.
So yeah, so they're gonna need to develop Kang better because if you want to think that he's a better overall bad guy than Thanos, you
Mm-hmm.
gotta need a better you need a better development story, and I'm hoping because the next Secret Wars coming out first, and then and then uh and then Loki's coming out. So
So,
um
well, you got King's Dynasty, and then a year later, it's going to be Secret Wars.
no, that's Secret War. I mean, Secret Invasion is coming out
Oh,
first.
yeah,
So sorry, the MCU TV shows is
yeah.
Secret Invasion and then Loki season 2. So we got to wait till season 2, which is coming out in the summer, uh, to see if they're going to develop King as they should have.
Yeah, and I think Secret Invasion comes out pretty soon. Actually, I think it's just a
Um,
month or so away. I think it's May.
I know it's coming out really really soon because again
Yeah.
because season 2 is coming out around my birthday in August.
Mm,
So Secret Invasion. Secret Invasion just doing a little.
you're
It
good.
just says it just says spring.
Okay,
Everything just says spring. So it
gotcha.
should be coming out really really soon.
So, over on the Marvel side,
Okay.
I prefer X-Men over Avengers.
Okay.
I can't wait for X-Men to come over. And honestly, I'm ready for Fantastic Four as well.
Mm-hmm.
Give me a good, lighthearted Fantastic Four that just flexes Reed Richards' brain muscles and make the Fantastic Four the glue of everything that's going on in Marvel. Please. And make it a TV show.
So TV show, I'm okay with that. I kind of agree. I have a small group of people. Listen, for X-Men wise, all
Mm-hmm.
right, X-Men.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin Feige, if you ever hear this, okay, you ever see this, okay, you need to cast me as Bishop. There's
Yes.
no other Bishop than Diandre Robinson. Listen, if you literally drew Bishop and had a machine to make him live action, it would be me right here. All you gotta do is put a scar on my face, and I'll be fine. Listen, cast me as Bishop, and you be, and that's all I'm going to say about that. However, though, I do think that X-Men is a better comic book than most Avengers
Yeah.
comic books, 100%.
And
Um, however, though, movie wise, because all right, so going movie wise, X-Men 1 and 2 was fantastic. I didn't mind 3. Then everything after 3 I despised. I'm not gonna lie. I hated Future Past. I hated I hated Apocalypse.
Apocalypse.
I hated Dark Phoenix. Like I hated all of them. I didn't. I'm not gonna lie. I loved one of my favorite comic book movies of all time. God's Truth is Logan. Logan's was fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Logan was great. So I'm not gonna shit on Logan. However, everything else, even the X-Men Wolverine origin stories, Wolverine and I like those either. For Fantastic Four, the movies come out. Fantastic Four, the first movie was okay. Silver Surfer was horrible.
Man,
Silver
they
Surfer.
wasted him. They wasted him, man.
there was a Silver Surfer and Apocalypse. Like it was so you didn't get to see Apocalypse was a cloud of dust.
Yeah,
He was just a cloud of dust. It was so horrible. And
man.
then the reboot of Fantastic Four was horrible. It was just bad. Not because he had a black Johnny, because I didn't care about that. I just care about it was good or not, and it was super fucking bad. So what the MCU need to do, if they want to make Fantastic Four the mainframe for the MCU, I'm
Mhm.
okay, but it has to be better, which is not saying much. But it has to be better than the movies that just came out. And the X-Men for X-Men, I'm glad to bring back an X-Men 96, 97, sorry.
Yeah,
So that's going to be fantastic. But for X-Men movies, you have to make it better than all the horrible shit that we just saw.
correct, man. And it's the source material is there. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
you can do the current the was it John is it Jonathan Hickman?
Hickman.
The Hickman run on X-Men.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic. It was way too much to collect. I tried. I made it like 3 months, and then they added like so like when John backtrack just in case you don't know. So when Jonathan Hickman took over X-Men, he did amazing things. But you in order to get the story that he was telling, you had to follow like at start like 2 books. And then they added like 3 or 4 more books, and you had to get all these in order to like comprehend the story. I made it like 2 months, and I was like, I can't do anymore. But man, like the X-Men stories, do yourself a favor, go to your comic store,
Mm-hmm.
check out some Jonathan Hickman X-Men. You're welcome.
Well, listen, I have some John Hickman books. Uh, I'm a huge collector. My that that drawer right there is all filled with comic books that I won't even touch. Um,
Mhm.
but you are right. There's some, maybe just Jonathan too, but a lot of the stories that you gotta read before you get to any good
Yeah.
main shit. You got like 5, 6 books, and and it is a ploy. It's a ploy to make people watch. I mean, buy more. So I understand the ploy, but if
Mhm.
you don't give us something that you're gonna do what you do and just say, forget this. I'm not gonna read any more of this. So I understand.
Yeah, man. And so who do you think who's your favorite villain in Marvel?
But favorite villain, Marvel? I like
Favorite
Crazy.
villain.
I like Crazy. I'm going Carnage. I love.
Okay.
Listen, I love Crazy. I was so freaking disappointed in Venom 2. Goddamn! And I was happy with Woody Harrison. Like Woody Harrison played Carnage. Oh
Mhm.
goodness! Oh my goodness! Yes, yes. There you go. I did not like him as Carnage. I think they spit in my face with Carnage. I was so happy. I was so happy when I saw the first trailer. Think, oh, I'm gonna put on picture everything. Go Carnage, yay! I'm happy as hell. They spit it right in my face. They loogied in my face with that Carnage. I was what the hell? God, it was so bad. It was so bad.
Man, I agree with you, man. There Venom 2 definitely needed a little bit more, but
Mhm.
it was better than Morbius.
Everything is better than Morpheus.
Yeah, I'm not even a
Everything.
big fan of that character anyway. And to me, like, if you're gonna do it, you go complete '90s Spider-Man cartoon with it. You go the
Mhm.
suckers on the hands, and he's an
Mhm.
energy vampire. You can't take a pla. Was it energy or plasma?
Plasma.
Plasma. That's right. That's right. Yeah,
Plasma.
I Morbius is one character I could always care less about. I was waiting for something to happen. No, nothing ever did.
So when you came on the show for Master Bidders and you did a bracket, you did this superhero bracket.
Hmm.
So I decided, I think a little bit after that, like a week or two after that, that I was going to watch all the movies on this bracket. All movies on the bracket and the other bracket as well. But I did got to watch Morpheus on Netflix again, and I tortured myself. I don't know why I did. I just tortured myself. It was just horrible. Well, it was so bad. And God's truth. So um, my friend Casey, who's on the Academic Podcast Ranking Network, he does Even at the Movies
Hmm.
and he's doing a segment on the worst the worst people um the worst actors that you hate, like you hate
Mhm.
actors. Uh, and Jared Leto is my pick. I despise Jared Leto. All right, listen, stop doing shit that will will fuck with me because I have to watch. I have to watch Morpheus. I'm a nerd. So I have to watch Morpheus.
Right,
I
right,
have to
yeah.
watch. I have to watch him as the Joker. And he was hard. He wasn't. Listen, I don't give him. Might say he was horrible at Joker. All right, stop doing shit that I have to watch you watch. Okay. After watching that movie, what's the movie he did with Marlon Wayans? Working for a Dream. Jesus Christ! Like, it's not a superhero movie. It's a really psychological, fucked up movie that involves a lot of drugs. Like one of the reasons why I don't do anything harder than weed. I mean, this is Oregon, so weed's
Yeah,
legal, so
you're good.
that's what it is. However, though, anything harder than weed because that movie and other things that I saw in my life, but that movie right there will listen. Nope, nope, nope. And yeah, Jared Leto, I despise Jared Leto. I do. I do. Sorry, Jared. I mean, it is what it is.
Hey, nothing wrong with that, man. What is one character in Marvel or DC that you
Mhm.
want to see on the big screen more than anybody else?
Uh, were they already on the big screen, or did not, or they?
Either way.
All right. Well, then I'm going to I'm picking up what you said. I do want to see a better Fantastic Four movie. They really need a better Fantastic Four movie. The first one was okay. I even like when Reed Richards was on Multiverse of Madness. He got killed really fast,
Right.
which is horrible. But I would love to see a really good Fantastic Four movie, especially because if you're going to do Kang, and then you're going to do Secret Wars, and then you're going to do the Ventures Kang movie, you going to need Reed Richards. You want to read into Richards because that's blood. There's their blood.
Yeah.
So so yeah, I'm going to need a better Fantastic Four movie.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I'm actually related to you there. My pick would be Doctor Doom.
Mm-hmm.
Doctor Doom. Now, another character, so in order to pull Kang off correct,
Mm-hmm.
there's another character from another franchise that you have to have. Well, actually, a couple of them. Scott Summers.
Mm-hmm.
Scott Summers, because Kang, or is Kang the descendant of Nathaniel Summers, or is it Kang descendant of
The,
Reed Richards?
the Dan Richards.
Reed Richards. Okay, I'm sorry. Who am I thinking of? The far off descendant of Summers and Jean Grey.
Um.
I can't think of it right
Uh. So I can't think right now either.
now. Yeah, that's
Sorry.
all right.
Oh no, Nathan Summers is their kid.
Right. Okay.
But yeah, Nathan Summers is their kid,
Yeah.
but he doesn't have at least I don't think so. He doesn't have ties to King.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but I mean, like Kang, Reed Richards, they're the same
Mm-hmm.
bloodline, guys. So there you go. We know we got to get
Yeah.
something with Fantastic Four coming soon,
Mm-hmm.
man. Diandre, Bishop, if I may.
Thank you.
I agree. I
Mm-hmm.
think that yes, you definitely need to be. You will forever be my bishop.
Thank you. Thank
Awesome.
you. Thank you.
Now we'll go ahead and start putting a pin and everything. Where can we find you?
So, like I said, Master Debaters is home of community debates, where we debate or do brackets and drafts every week. Drafts come out every Monday, and the brackets come out drafts come out every Friday, and brackets come out every Monday. If you ever want to do a draft or a bracket, Gax Bradley, it's pretty fun. I'm not to my own horn, but I will never turn down someone that want to do the bracket. But however, though, if you want to do a bracket, you got to do a bracket that I already made because they are a bitch to make. So I want to say that right now. And yeah, you can find me on. We do live, so you can find me on. Actually, and for some reason, this allowed me to to go live with this on this particular episode. So people are actually commenting on my stuff as we speak. So we go live on StreamYard. We go live on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Twitch.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's it. Thank you for having me on. And again, MCU, if you're looking for a bishop, it's not hard to find me at all. Not hard, and I won't say no.
Right? He's right there, guys.
There you go. There you go. I won't
and
say no.
Earlier you were saying that if you like, you could actually go to GPT and type in real life Bishop from the X-Men, and you would come up. You absolutely would come up.
100%. 100%. Listen, and I'm working for less than what the regular actors are doing. Listen, Kevin Feige. Listen, if you see this, all right, if you see this, I work for peanuts. Okay. I just want to be, and I can be a cameo. You don't need to be a cameo and kill me off in the first five minutes. I'm okay with that. Just fly me to Atlanta and put me in makeup so I can be Bishop. That's all I want. Okay, that's all I want.
And you hear it here first, guys. I'm talking to Bishop. All right. You can message me at Fandemic on Facebook. I'm also active on TikTok as the Fandemic One. I'm sure I'll be putting some clips from this podcast up on there. If you want to support the show, there's several ways you can do so. You can buy me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/thefandemic. On the next episode with my buddy Brian, we'll either toast you or roast you. You can also go to Patreon if you want, patreon.com/PVOTN Fandemic. Become an episode assistant, an episode producer, a pre-bench producer like Stacy, or yes, you could be part of the con. Yes, the Council of Nerds, starting at $5 a month. You can become a monthly supporter on anchor.fm/PVOTN. Or you know what? Just share the show with someone you want to make a little more awesome. Remember, I wrote the book on leveling up your awesome. Don't forget to leave a 5-star review. Now, thank you for leveling up my awesome, Bishop. Thank you for being a part of the Fandemic family. I like to end every episode on a positive note. What are your words of wisdom from the mass debaters?
Words of wisdom. Whatever you do, and it's very simple. Whatever you do, never give up. Whatever
I love it.
You do,
I love
never
it.
give up.
We're all playing the same game in life, just on a different level. You're welcome for leveling up your awesome. Live free or die empty. If you think about it, every time you feel stupid, you just got a little smarter. And finally, squirrels' cheeks are also their nut sacks. Remember and have a great day.